Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. I hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday, and hopefully you are staying warm out there because, as we've been talking about all week, today is the cold day. A lot of us are seeing temperatures in the teens, some single digits, and wind chill's a whole another thing. So let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix, because he knows a lot more about this than I do. Hey, Joe.
You did pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's in the single digits and teens.
Okay.
Yeah, we had wind chill too, so nice job, Maya.
All right, you got all the buzzwords.
So when I call out sick tomorrow, you can fill in.
There we go, I'm ready.
No, it was a chilly day. It was one of our colder days we've had so far this winter across the north. Cold night tonight. Well, I'll show you in a few minutes, but several spots going back below zero tonight. So it'll be a cold start for many tomorrow morning as we head into Thursday. And the thing is, too, it was nice this afternoon. Some spots saw a little sun. Really and nice. I'm really hoping for a repeat tomorrow. Just, boosts everyone's mood.
Yes, we could use that.
Yeah. So a little sunshine tomorrow. We do have a little snow in the forecast, too. We'll take a look at all that a little later.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. Let's start off with one of our top stories tonight. So the Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners held its first meeting of the new year, and there were some tense moments as dozens of people showed up to speak during public comment, some of them speaking for and some against Commissioner Rob Henschel, who is currently being investigated for allegedly sexually assaulting a woman last October. New leadership was also announced, but the story that we're sharing with you right now isn't actually about the meeting itself, but more so about what happened after the meeting. So our Allie Baxter was at this meeting this morning, and when she left, she noticed a lot of cars in the parking lot had parking tickets on them. Now, there is metered parking at the governmental center in Traverse City, so maybe that's not a huge surprise, but that did prompt us to ask the question, should people have to pay to park at governmental centers and to basically pay to attend these meetings? So here is Allie Baxter with that full story.
And I took issue with that when it came up several years ago.
This isn't a new discussion for former city, now county commissioner Ashley Walter.
To me, the governmental center, especially that front area with the parking, with the metered parking, should be welcoming and accessible.
Dozens attended the county board's first meeting of the year, and some walked out to parking violations from the city on their cars.
Metered parking can be seen as very inaccessible for people, especially if you're trying to come to a government meeting and share your opinion or meet with a government official. It feels like having to pay for that on top of it seems a little wrong.
The governmental center doesn't just host city and county meetings. It also houses the Register of Deeds, clerk offices, treasurer, and more essential municipal services. There's a cost to going in to do business if you want to park in this lot.
We have restricted parking in there because surrounding businesses were using that parking during the day. And there have been times that I've had to park at the metered spots, and then I put money in the meter, and then the meeting goes so long that I then get a ticket.
The city and county amended their parking service agreement in 2022. The public used to be able to park for free in this lot, but it's reserved for governmental center employees now, leaving metered parking or street parking as the only options.
No one likes to put quarters or use the app to fill a meter, but it's a necessary evil in society when parking is tight. Up at our Lafreniere campus, we do not have a parking shortage issue, and we don't have parking meters there.
It's an issue that some commissioners say could be solved by moving their meetings to the evenings. Right now, the board meets during metered hours at 9 a.m. Metered hours end at 4.
I do hear from constituents across the county that a morning meeting during the workday is very inaccessible for most people. For the daytime meetings, you do have to pony up or park in the neighborhoods or, figure out a way to come and access government. And I do find it discouraging for people.
And Allie is joining us live now from our content center. So Allie, it sounds like based on your story, a possible solution isn't to get rid of the meters and make parking in that lot free, but to maybe just change the time of certain meetings so they fall outside of the 9 to 4 parking meter hours.
Yeah, Maya, that was something they actually discussed during the meeting today. It was an organizational meeting, so it's a good opportunity to maybe switch things up in the new year for this new commission. And one of the things brought up actually by Commissioner Walter was, can we explore the idea, the city has meetings at 7 p.m., but can we explore the idea of moving back to evenings as well? Or, hey, maybe we don't commit to always having evening meetings, but we maybe just once in a while have a special meeting just so that people who can't always come at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning during the work week, they have an option to be able to come here and make their voices heard. So that was brought up even beforehand at the meeting. And then it was once we went outside, saw that everybody had a bunch of parking tickets, that question was kind of raised again about, okay, well, maybe a possible solution is having meetings outside of those ticketed hours.
Mm-hmm. And I see you do have a ticket in your hand. So were you one of those
do.
vehicles that had a ticket today?
Yes, I was not immune from some of the tickets that came around. It was me. It was, I think, the rest of the media that had come out to cover the meeting that day. It was a lot of other people. They had their organizational meeting today and then a regular meeting. So when they had that break in between, a lot of people said, okay, I have to continue on with my day. It was around like 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
And you came outside and it was a sea of yellow tickets across people's vehicles.
Did you actually talk with anyone else who got a ticket about how they're feeling, their frustrations or anything like that?
Yeah, it was kind of, when you see a ticket on your vehicle, your first reaction is like, oh, like great. It's it's definitely never like oh, yay, I'm so excited to get a parking ticket today.
Right.
So definitely the energy was, oh, like I can't believe like parking services came through at this exact time when a lot of people were just there, like they said, well, I wanted to come and hear this. A lot of people today with the first meeting of the year and with kind of a kind of renewed interest in looking at the Board of Commissioners. A lot of people were very invested in, who's the new chair, who's the new vice chair. So there were a lot of new faces at these commission meetings today, and a lot of people who maybe have never even come in the governmental center before. So we do know there is that metered parking out there, and it's not a surprise when you see one of these on your car. Like you said before we played the package, Maya, it just kind of caused us to question, this is a building where a lot of essential municipal services for not just the county, but the city as well, are in this building. So it just kind of caused us to think, why are people having to pay to go into this building when a lot of times those services aren't available anywhere else?
So do you know, is this something that is common across other areas around northern Michigan? Do other government centers have metered parking?
I couldn't think of one off the top of my head, Maya. I think that was another thing that kind of caused us to look into this today, because I know you and I, we've both been to many different governmental centers for meetings. And just off the top of my head, I don't believe Leland has any kind of meters there. And then I believe Benzie, I've gone to Benzie recently. They don't have any meters there either. So it's definitely just something that I've only seen in Grand Traverse County. And of course, that kind of has to do with the fact that it is within that downtown area. That was something that we didn't get to include in the story, was we talked with Commissioner Nelson about, this is, kind of one of the kind of pains about having this center in the downtown area, because there are, maybe not this time of year, but certain times of the year, there are a lot of people looking to park there that they're not going in the governmental center. They're trying to go downtown, or they're trying to go to places on 8th Street.
And that does make sense, but you brought up a good point. I think a lot of other governmental centers are in other counties around the downtown area. Not all of them, but some of them as well. And like you said, not a lot of them do have metered parking. So that is really interesting that is the case here in Grand Traverse County. And, I have spent plenty of evenings at the governmental center, and I didn't even realize, I've seen the meters, but I always go for the city meetings when I was the evening reporter. So I was there at 7 p.m. So I never even thought twice about oh gosh, I gotta pay to park here, because it's always been after the hours of 4 p.m. But I think another interesting thing that you did mention it in your story, or someone did, is, let's say you go to an earlier meeting and you put in 4 quarters. You never know how long those meetings are going to go. So you might put money in and then still come out, and maybe you're just a few minutes past your limit and boom, you got a ticket on your windshield.
Yeah, that's exactly what Commissioner Nelson brought up, because if you look on those meters, it has a 2-hour limit on there. So you can only put in enough change to get you to 2 hours. But as most people are aware, those Grand Traverse County meetings and sometimes those city meetings, they go for a really long time. So you could show up, pay the meter, and go participate in one of those meetings. But those meetings go a very long time. They definitely go past that 2-hour mark.
Anything else, Allie, that we haven't talked about yet that you definitely want to mention?
I know we already talked about just the connection going back to the meeting today, but Commissioner Walter, she used to be a city commissioner, and she said, this is something we talked about before. And she said, I was in the minority about it. I really feel like we should have free parking for the governmental center because I just find it as a barrier, and I find it really discouraging for people who maybe they haven't ever interacted with some of their government officials before, or they need to be able to do a service inside the governmental center. Having those meters there, it can just be kind of an intimidating, or, having that financial strain as well. It can be something that prevents them from wanting to come in. And overall, what she said is she just wants as much civic engagement as possible. She doesn't want there to be any barriers that would discourage people.
Sure. And if a county commissioner has this thought, this idea, I'm sure a lot of members of the community do as well. So, Allie, thank you so much for joining us. But let's turn things over to our question of the day. So, what do you think about this? Should you have to pay to park for public meetings? You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you to our website where you can vote. As of right now, a lot of people are saying no, you should not have to pay. 83% say no, 17% are saying yes. And we do have quite a few comments on our Facebook post as well. So as always, I will look through some of those comments and we will circle back to that towards the end of our show. But let's turn things over to a fun Exploring Michigan story. This is a segment that we've been doing for quite some time now. So we are going to one of the most visited places in all of Michigan. So every year, well over 1 million people make the trek to visit Sleeping Bear Dunes in Leelanau County, and the vast majority come during the summer months. But in tonight's Exploring Michigan, we are visiting the lakeshore in the dead of winter, where we learned that Sleeping Bear does not truly hibernate. Here's Mark Schlepp.
I do get that question, like, is the park open in the wintertime? Yes, the park is always open. And I actually think winter is magical.
Magical, and even at the wildly popular in the summertime dune climb, not crowded, like at all.
I think it's a completely different experience in the wintertime. It's peaceful. It's quiet. You can find that solitude.
Every year, millions of visitors make the trek to Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, most of them in the summer months. But those who know this place best say don't sleep on a winter visit.
It's less busy, so you're not going to find the congestion that sometimes that you're going to have. And I actually think it's easier to see wildlife in the wintertime because of the tracks.
You may see more animals and a lot fewer cars while out on the 14 trails.
All the trails are open. There might be some that are difficult. There are a few facilities that are not open, like the Pier Stocking Scenic Drive is not open to cars, but you could actually hike that. You can walk it. But all of our trails otherwise are open.
Open and available, and a few more options for visitors.
A lot of people love to ski some of those trails, especially if you like those kind of wilderness skiing experience. The Platte Plains Trail, a lot of people ski that in the wintertime because it's, again, that solitude piece of going out there. There are other trails that are a little harder in the wintertime that you'd want to be careful about skiing on, but a lot of people then snowshoe. A lot of people snowshoe on our trails in the winter.
And after a day on the trails, a well-deserved good night's sleep may be right around the corner.
A lot of people come here and camp in the wintertime, and people don't know that they can do that. So there are a lot of experiences here at the park that people don't realize are available in the wintertime.
And as always, the Visitors Center is welcoming to not only share knowledge of how this place came to be, but also with rangers ready to pass along the best tips to make the most of a winter visit. Because after all, in their eyes,
if they haven't been here in the winter, you can't say you've truly experienced the park in all its glory. You have to come in the wintertime to experience it also.
That was our Mark Schlepp reporting. And starting January 18th, the Park Service will be offering weekend winter activities like youth ice fishing, maple sugar days, and candlelight hikes, all of which are free with a valid park pass. Let's take a quick commercial break, but we will check back in with Joe Charlevoix. He'll have much more in the forecast for the rest of our week and a look ahead to the weekend coming up next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Yes, today was very cold, but some of us did see some sunshine and blue skies for part of the day, which was a very lovely sight. And Joe mentioned that maybe we'll have a repeat of those blue skies tomorrow.
I sure hope so.
I do too.
I'm just like you, hoping we get some.
Right.
Yeah, but it does look like, for much of the area, I think we'll get a little bit of that if you can get away from some of the lake effect clouds. But I don't think they'll be too widespread tomorrow. So a little bit of sunshine would be nice. Cadillac is clear. Of course, it's dark now, but we did have a clear end to the day there. They had some clouds most of the day as we look at our Baker College camera over Wexford County. Let's start with, though, the sunshine prospects. We'll take a look at that. So we got that big ball of sun with the glasses on up there. He's hoping he can show up tomorrow. And we'll go with a partly sunny sky. So that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. Of the next, if you go through next Tuesday, so almost over the next week, tomorrow will be the best potential for a little bit of sunshine out there. It looks cloudy Friday. We have another system coming in, a little bit of light snow Friday. Maybe a couple peaks of sunshine Saturday, but then cloudy again Sunday, Monday, and it looks like Tuesday as well. It was a chilly night last night. These were the low temperatures last night. Got down to 6 below at Sault Ste. Marie. That was the cold spot, at least in our area. Drummond Island below 0. Here's where we are right now. We didn't warm up much. A lot of areas in the single digits and teens this evening. Newberry and the Sioux at 5. Check out Pellston right now. If you're watching there in Emmett County right now, Pellston's at 3. Petoskey just to your south at 7. There is a little bit of lake effect snow. It's right in through here along the lakeshore, but a lot of this now is actually offshore now of Manistee and Ludington out over the lake. And we could get a couple snow showers in this region tonight. I don't think we're going to get a lot more additional snow. So we'll take a look at that first. Partly cloudy tomorrow. We're going to turn our wind out of the south. So if you see the snow along the lakeshore right there, this is tomorrow morning, watch what happens to that. It gets pushed up into Mackinac County and maybe around Beaver Island. So you could see a little snow there along US 2 in that region, otherwise partly cloudy. And then here comes our next system with snow. This is Friday during the day to Friday evening, and then some lingering snow showers into Saturday. So as far as that system on Friday is concerned with accumulation, with regard to accumulation, a 1 to 3 inch type snowfall for most of the area. Again, that's to close out the week. And then next week, we have another system coming in later Sunday. See that coming in here? That's Sunday afternoon, Sunday night into Monday. It's snowy, and then some lake effect snow showers perhaps on Tuesday as a little push of colder air comes in. So that's kind of a rough idea on things. Our extended forecast, there it is. Light snow on Friday, couple snow showers Saturday, and then that next system later Sunday. We'll see some snow Monday, and the same thing on Tuesday. I look at this forecast, Maya, and it looks like pretty typical January type weather. Little sun tomorrow, but then we get some of that snow coming in at times through the weekend.
So we'll have to soak up all the sunshine we can tomorrow.
Hopefully, yes.
Thanks, Joe. We are going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports Director Harrison Beebe will join me live right after this commercial break. Let's talk some sports with our sports director, Harrison Beebe, who is joining us live now from our content center. Just wanted to wait to see you to make sure that's where you were. Hey, Harrison.
Yeah, Maya, how about that cold, huh? It's pretty chilly out there, right?
It is pretty chilly, yep.
Oh, I thought Joe and I were swapping today. I thought I'd get one of these.
That's tomorrow. That was Thursday's plan.
Okay, opposite day is Thursday. Well, I'll stay on topic. We'll talk about some sports today. Kind of a monumental day. If you're a high school basketball fan, we get the first set of state rankings for the year for boys basketball. The first girls polls be coming out this time next week because the boys season started a week early. These are our teams ranked in the top 10. So not too many from our area, but several notable teams, each with only one loss. You got Glen Lake, McBain, and Harbor Springs all in Division 3 there. Interesting to note for Glen Lake, they were Division 4 a year ago, made it to the state quarterfinals. So we'll see how they do in a Division 1 up from where they were a year ago. They used to be in Division 3. Last year was kind of a rarity for them to be in the smaller division, but they're back in Division 3 and ranked number 3. McBain made the state semifinals a year ago. They're in the top 10 there. Harbor Springs, I've seen them play Glen Lake. That's their only loss for the Rams. That was a pretty good matchup. And I've seen Bel Air play. I've seen all 4 of these teams play. They're worthy of top 10 rankings for sure, and are going to be teams to look out for, no doubt, come up February and March when we get to postseason play in a few months here. But since we get unscripted, it's not a script. It's just a list of the rankings. We have 11 honorable mentions that didn't make the list. So this is a perfect time. I didn't get to mention them at 6.
Sure.
Traverse City West, an honorable mention in Division 1. Sheboygan is having a great season in Division 2. They're an honorable mention there. Division 3, we got a few more. Pine River, the Bucks, they call in their scores every night. They're having a great, I believe they're undefeated. So Pine River might be shooting up into the top 10 pretty soon here. And Charlevoix also honorable mention in Division 3. And we get to Division 4, it's a bit of a logjam with the honorable mention teams. Might as well give them all a shout out here. We got Pickford, Frankfort, Lake Leelanau, St. Mary, Rogers City, Marion, Onekama, and Pentwater, all outside the top 10, but receiving votes from the media across the state. So just shows why I needed a cheat sheet. That's a lot of team names, obviously, to just remember off the top of my head. But
yeah, we'll let it slide.
Yeah. So far, so good, though, for high school boys basketball in our area.
Yeah, moral of the story is a lot of teams around Northern Michigan very good at basketball. All right, Harrison, thanks so much. That's all the time we have for sports tonight. But stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Let's take a last look at our live results for a question of the day. Should you have to pay to park for public meetings? 83% of voters say no, 17% say yes. We have a lot of comments on Facebook. All of them are saying no. I kind of wanted to read a couple comments from people saying yes, but none of those in our comment section. Cheyenne says, if you live in the Grand Traverse County area, no. Darlene says, everyone says shop local. We should not have to pay to park while giving them our business. We pay taxes on top of taxes. Gare says, if it's a public meeting anywhere, no, you should not have to pay. Jason says, don't we already pay taxes? So you can join the conversation on our Facebook page. But that'll do it for Unscripted tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here on Up North Live News at 11. Take care, everyone.